Never done one of these before, but I was really, really excited when I saw the new trailer for No Time to Die. I did think they did some really cool, interesting things with it. So I decided I would stick the old headphones on and do a very quick trailer breakdown. Let's just jump into it, I guess. Right.
Bond, any thug can kill. I have to know I can trust you.
So I like what they've done here, which is completely different to every single trailer beforehand, in that they've taken things from the previous movies and put them in there. So we've got Casino Royale there, and that's how he became Bond.
Well, I understand double O's have a very short life expectancy.
Okay, so it's kind of telling the story of James Bond. That's interesting. This is kind of tying the movies together in a way that I'd never felt they had been before. Some of the really interesting videos I've seen with David Zaritsky from the Bond Experience and Joe Darlington from Being James Bond, and I know Calvin Dyson has also spoken about this, the whole idea of No Time to Die actually making the previous movies in the series, the duds like Quantum of Solace and Spectre, better by association, because maybe some of the things in there will make more sense in the context of this movie. I don't know.
You're a kite dancing in a hurricane, Mr. Bond.
Is this really what you want? Always alone?
Okay, so this is really interesting. This is basically outright claiming that all four of the previous movies were leading to this point, so there's going to be a thread that makes them all make sense. And it's funny, now I think about it, obviously there were certain elements in all four of the Craig movies that were kind of weaving a narrative tapestry. So in Casino Royale, you got introduced to Mr. White, and then in Quantum of Solace you found out about Quantum, and we've got people everywhere. Skyfall seemed completely independent of that, except then in Spectre we finally meet Blofeld. What a disappointment that was. Hopefully he can redeem that role. But anyway, we met Blofeld, and he kind of suggested that everything that had happened in the previous movies he had orchestrated, and that's interesting because that suggests that he orchestrated or had some involvement with Silva in Skyfall, which I think kind of I don't know, that's interesting. That's something that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, and I think this is very different to the way the Marvel movies would do it, where they would sort of sow seeds of future movies, but do it in a way people get excited about the future movies. They're like, oh, that's going to be all about Doctor Strange 2 or whatever. Whereas the James Bond movies had never kind of given me that. They had certain elements like they were building for something, but I never kind of got the distinctive idea that the writers of each individual movie were creating something coherent that was going to lead to something greater. So I don't know. It's a bold strategy for them to try and tie everything in together for the next all five movies to make one single coherent narrative. But I'm down for it. I want to see how they try.
We used to be able to get into a room with the enemy.
I love this
now
thing.
they're just floating in the ether.
When her secret finds its way out, it'll be the death of you.
Oh my God. Target enough people.
Remember, people become the weapon.
That's really interesting that people become the weapon. I wonder, and obviously there's some kind of like biological element involved here, and I wonder if the irony of all this is they had previously written, or they'd rewritten this movie to have like some kind of virus that was spread as one of the plot points. Wouldn't that be interesting? And I wonder if all the right wing people are going to be like, James Bond has been hijacked by the deep state to sow a message that we should all get vaccinated. I don't know, that's crazy talk, but it's interesting. That seems to be a good idea for a movie. I love the way they've given us much further explicit detail about the plot. It's like you can see Q is talking about how many people could be impacted. You've got talk about a weapon. You can see that this is a big global crisis. And while we kind of had that hinted at in the previous trailers, they'd never kind of shone any light on what this crisis could be until now. Now that's really interesting. So if there's kind of like viral agent or contagion or something like that, maybe the reason he's looking at his hands is because he's like, oh my god, I touched them and then I touched everyone else. Maybe this whole movie is about the importance of washing your hands. But it's kind of funny. This is just my crazy theory, but it's like one of the early things in the pandemic was we've got to wash our hands because it gets spread about by people coughing and sneezing. You touch it, then you go home and put your hand in your mouth, your eyes or something. So if you keep washing your hands, that's one way to limit the infectiveness of it, infectiousness of it. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting if James Bond at this moment is realizing that he's like brought this toxin or something into the MI6 headquarters.
Who is he?
James, you don't know what this is?
He's got his hand up there as well. I don't know what that means. This could just be acting. I'm acting. But it might have some other greater meaning. Now, I've been watching the videos where they've kind of given away a few spoilers about there being like the island of death or something in it, which is very much something lifted from You Only Live Twice, and there's this whole idea of like a suicide garden where every single plant there is dangerous and deadly and people go there to die deliberately. I don't know. So here we have this island. I guess this is Norway. You've got some kind of like refinery or something down there, which is interesting because a lot of people have been saying that maybe Safin is like some kind of Dr. No type character, and Dr. No of course was on an island in Crab Key and had that refinery there where they did refinery for guano, which is bird poop, which is worth a lot of money back in those days.
James Bond. License to kill.
I'm really, really, really excited for the Cuba scene. So excited. Oh, and look at this view and the DB5.
In love with Madeleine Swan. I could be speaking to my own reflection.
Oh, that's interesting. What did he say just then? I should have kept my trap shut. Let's go back. Yeah.
In love with Madeleine Swan. I could be speaking to my own reflection.
So, when Safin says, in love with Madeleine Swan, I could be speaking to my own reflection. Normally we've already had the line where it's like, because you kill people and I kill people, I just do it more tidily. But maybe there's some kind of element from beforehand, in love with Madeleine Swan. Because there was another line where they ask, in one of the previous trailers, it's like, what does he want? I don't know. Money about me. She says me. So maybe Safin has like some kind of romantic relationship or obsession with... I don't know. Let's carry on.
Only your skills die with your body. And life is all about leaving something behind.
Again, that's a different new line that we haven't heard in the previous trailers. It was you die with your body, mine live on. So I guess the lines mean basically the same thing, but it's interesting that they changed it.
Isn't it?
Come on, Bond. Where the hell are you?
James!
Okay.
What does he say? What does he say? I don't know, but that's interesting. So he's parked there. He's not doing anything. They are shooting the door in. Wasn't that bad guy who was shooting the door in? Kind of like scary looking. And he's deliberately not doing anything, and she's begging him to. As if he's basically like saying, answer my question or something. What does he say though? It sounds like... walking? Let's see.
Okay.
Okay. I think he said okay. God, am I getting deaf? I don't know. Anyway. How cool is this? Oh yeah.
If we don't do this, There will be nothing left to save.
Ana de Armas looks really freaking cool in this movie. I'm really excited to see what role she plays. It's going to be so different because the only movie I can like remember seeing her in was Knives Out, where she played like the complete opposite of a butt-kicking spy. So I think it's going to be really cool and interesting to see her interacting with Daniel Craig again, because so much of Knives Out was about the interaction between those two. So
I have to finish this. You have a flow artist.
No. I'm really, really excited to find out more about Nomi. I think she looks super badass. And some of the lines of dialogue we saw in the previous trailers, like, I'll shoot you in your knee, the one that still works. Like, I'm sold on her as a 00 agent.
No.
And this is cool. I like this. Yeah, I am so stoked. And I think what they did that was really different about this trailer is they did kind of weave a story into it. The other one was just like, this cool thing happens, this cool thing happens, this cool thing happens. And they had a different story. The story was James Bond is retired, but now he's back in action. Whereas this one really is like he never left. This one sells the whole idea as the climax of the Daniel Craig run of James Bond. Those are a lot of loose ends to tie up convincingly, and you know, Spectre was just such a missed opportunity. I'm not necessarily that optimistic that they can pull it off, but so far I've been so impressed by everything I've seen. I'm so stoked for this movie. Anyway, I will chat to you guys later. Bye.